Morning, everyone. Jack here. As you probably just saw, one of my students just received a $22,000 scholarship per year. That is $88,000 in total. And no, that is not uncommon for my students. And so today in this video, I want to briefly go through scholarships so you too, as the parent of a high schooler, can understand how they work and give your child the best chance at also gaining possibly $22,000 per year or even more. I'm going to break scholarships up into its two components because I think first and foremost, it's important for parents to understand there are actually two different types of scholarships. I'll take my glove off to show you two different types of scholarships. The first, financial aid. This is actually the easier of the two buckets to A, comprehend, and B, execute. Financial aid. If you're watching this, parents, make note. Write it on the calendar right now. October 1st of your child's senior year is a big date. October 1st. On October 1st, the FAFSA goes live. The FAFSA is really the end-all be-all when it comes to all things financial aid. You cannot fill it out before October 1st of your child's senior year, so don't try. But on October 1st of your child's senior year, the FAFSA will go live, and I recommend filling it out that first week of October. October 1st, October 2nd, October 3rd, whatever you want, but sometime in that first week. Doing so will give your family the best opportunity at sometimes free money. That is right, free money, money that you never, ever have to pay back. Now, I'm not going to go into the nuances today of how every college determines financial aid packages that are presented, but I am going to keep it fairly high level and give you a summary. Let's say then, October 1st of your child's senior year, you fill out the FAFSA, and just so you know, the FAFSA takes somewhere between a half hour and an hour to fill out. All right? When you fill out the FAFSA, you're going to put in your family's information on income, on number of children who are going to college, on many other things that really it's up to the parent to fill out. Yes, the high schooler can sit there and may be able to provide guidance, but in terms of college planning, this really is something that falls on a parent. Then you send it off into the ether and you wait. That's why it's actually pretty easy, and I recommend every family fill out the FAFSA. I have families every year come to me and they say, Jack, we're not going to qualify for financial aid. And I say, fill out the FAFSA anyway. It's 30, 45 minutes of your life. And I have seen many families who never thought that they would qualify for financial aid receive free money. Then, just so you know, on the back end, like way later, many months later, after your child's, experiencing acceptances and possibly rejections into school, it's up to the individual schools, the colleges, to see what FAFSA has come back with and said, hey, we see that FAFSA says your estimated family contribution is this. Then it's up to the school what they want to do with that information. Some schools, actually my alma mater is one of them, cheers to Vanderbilt, have a 100% policy. Pretty cool. This means that Vanderbilt says whatever FAFSA spits out that says your family needs, Vanderbilt will honor in a grant that will never have to be paid back. Pretty cool, right? Now, Vanderbilt is not the only school that offers that. Some other colleges offer that, but let me tell you, it is not guaranteed, okay? And that actually is a fairly rare bucket. Most schools across the country say, hey, we don't have a 100% policy. We're going to see what FAFSA spits out, and then we're going to come up with our own package. Might it be 100% of what FAFSA says you need? Sure, right? Might it not be? It might not be also. Or maybe it'll be something like, hey, we'll honor 50% in a grant. The other 50%, your child can do a kind of a work-study program, or we'll give you in loans, that type of thing. All right, so that is how financial aid works. Now, there is this other thing called the CSS Profile. It's similar to FAFSA. Typically, private schools in the country require it. And so that'll be something that you need to fill out in addition to filling out FAFSA. People say it's a little bit more tedious. I just let you know that because I definitely have families watching this channel whose children are going to be applying to private schools. So just keep that in mind. That's the financial aid bucket. It's actually pretty easy, okay? Now, if comes to financial aid and you actually want some insight, FAFSA guru. I'm actually doing a call with her soon. She's incredible. I'm going to put a link in the description to her. I receive 0 commissions on people that I send her way. I just think she's awesome at what she does, and she helps families walk through actually filling out financial aid forms and maximizing the potential that they receive. Pretty cool. I'll put the link in the chat. Feel free to go check her out if you're interested. Bucket number 2 is merit scholarships. All right, now, when my student sent that text to me this week that said I received $22,000 per year, she was referring to a merit scholarship that was given. Pretty awesome. Here's how merit scholarships work. Merit scholarships are exactly what they sound like. They are based entirely on a student's merit and have nothing to do with financial aid, okay? Now, again, both buckets are important and end up leading to just a lump sum of scholarships. You can get financial aid and merit scholarships, add them together, a lot of money. But again, they really happen entirely independently. Merit scholarships. When a student is applying to a college in general, they can go look it up. They can also apply to merit scholarships. Now, there are merit scholarships you can find that are independently run. What I mean by that, right, is like, you can go look it up. Google like Coca-Cola academic scholarships. Every year they say they send millions of dollars to kids for, college scholarships. That's great. That is true. That's really not where the biggest bang for your buck typically is. Finding these independent scholarships, typically the buckets are very small. So sure, Coca-Cola might give $5 million to students. What they don't tell you is they're in $500 chunks. If you want the big bucks, the $22,000 bucks, like you just saw my student get, it typically is held at the school level. So, in my student's case, right, she got $22,000 from Loyola Chicago. Amazing, right? At the school level, Loyola Chicago has merit scholarships for students who are applying. Now, if you want to be considered for those merit scholarships, there are a couple different processes. One, sometimes just by applying in general, you automatically get considered. All right? Sometimes, however, you need to go, and in essence, this would be typing in Loyola Chicago Merit Scholarships, and you need to apply separately to a merit scholarship when you apply to the school in general. All right, so again, to reiterate, sometimes you automatically apply to the scholarship when you apply to the school in general. Other times, you actually have to submit another application. Like, as an example, again, for my alma mater, there is no automatic, you're going to get considered for a merit scholarship. There are several merit scholarships that go up to a complete full ride, 100%, but you must find them by going to the Vanderbilt University Merit Scholarships webpage and then apply specifically for them at the same time you're applying to Vanderbilt, right? Now, Loyola Chicago, on the other hand, I believe the scholarship my student got was not through an application. She applied to the school in general, and they said, your merit, your academics are so exceptional compared to the typical student we see. We are going to try to entice you to come to our school. Therefore, you didn't even apply to a merit scholarship, but we've got a $22,000 one that we're going to give you if you attend. This brings up a part of scholarships that I just don't think is talked about enough. Having a balanced school list is important for not one, but two reasons. The first is what you hear about all the time, which is you want a balanced school list so that you can reach for the stars, but also know that you're going to go to college, right? Have safety schools, but also have reach schools. Absolutely. But you know why it also is really important? It's also really important so that you optimize your chances of getting merit scholarships, right? The Ivy Leagues don't give out merit scholarships. They don't. You can Google it. You know why? Because most of the time, they don't need a merit scholarship to entice a student to attend their school, if that makes sense. But the students, what I call probable schools or safety schools, understand, right? It's always a supply-demand game with students and who they're accepting to schools and who's going to attend. They understand that they need to add a little sweetener to the pot, if you will, in order to get a student to attend. And so in my student's case, the screenshot you saw right there, that is very much Loyola Chicago saying, you're an exceptional student, right? Compared to the typical student who applies based on your merit. And if we just accepted you with no money, the odds are probably slim you'll attend. So they play the supply demand game, just like students do on the other side. And they say, all right, you get a $22,000 merit scholarship along with just the acceptance in general. Pretty awesome, right? Now, all these tactics, walking through financial aid, walking through merit scholarships, walking through how to optimize both of the buckets, this is what I guide my students step by step on. These are important aspects of college, right? As you can imagine, $88,000 is a lot of money over 4 years, and it's important for students to understand, if they just have a complete step-by-step understanding of how the scholarship game works, to understand how they can get that for themselves. All right? So, in summary, financial aid, FAFSA, October 1st. Mark it down, October 1st of senior year. Fill out that FAFSA no matter what. That's bucket number 1, taken care of. Bucket number 2, merit scholarships. Understand the importance of having a balanced school list. Understand that your safety and probable schools are more likely to give you those merit scholarships. Also, at the same time, understand how to find them. You can go to a resource like Scholarship Owl, which I'll put in the chat, to find independent scholarships. But again, if you want the biggest bang for your buck, Google insert school, merit scholarships. If I were guiding your child, I would say every single school that ends up on your child's list, you should know that URL to the merit scholarship webpage as well. Because if there are merit scholarships to apply to, you should know how to apply to them, right? Sometimes you might not have to apply. You'll be automatically considered. But sometimes you do have to apply. And it's important to know what those deadlines are, because sometimes the merit scholarship deadlines are slightly different than the application in general. And it's important your child understands what is required to actually apply to them, such as writing an additional essay, etc., etc. So I hope that helps. I think it's important for parents who have stayed with me to the end to understand there is a lot of money out there to be had. Sticker price minus financial aid minus merit scholarships equals what you pay. Those two items in between, those minuses, those subtractions can be a lot. But here's the thing. Many families in the country just don't know how to get those subtractions to be bigger. So I hope this provided you a thorough overview of how to actually make those subtractions work for yourself. And you can end up just like my student and get $22,000 a year or more. Who knows? So I hope this was helpful. If you did find this helpful, feel free to click like, click subscribe. Oh, that was a scary dog. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.